right, so it's time for us to talk about our STEM holiday series. And for that, we are joined by Jadesola Adedeji of STEM Met Resources, a 21st century skills training for children using STEM-based activities to develop skills for the future workplace. Now, after a 20-year career in the pharmaceutical industry, her foray into education was born out of a desire to engage her children in meaningful and creative enrichment programs. And of course, by extension, there's so many exciting things happening. It's so good to have you in the studio with us, Jadesola.
Thank you so much.
All right, so what crafts do you have for us today?
So today we are doing what I'm calling arts in science.
Arts in science.
Yep. And science, technology, engineering, and math, in recent times, they've included the arts. Because if you think about it, some of those science experiments or projects you're doing, there's actually a creative and art element to it.
Yes, that's why it became STEAM.
That's why it became STEAM, exactly. So today I thought we would do that as a way of illustrating where we're still teaching science. Okay. However, we're incorporating crafts, arts and crafts into it. Okay. So today I am going to show us how we are going to explain a bit of biology, but using, crafts. So we're going to be using straws, balloons, and a plastic cup to illustrate.
Balloons, plastic cup.
Yes, to illustrate how the lung works.
Okay.
So basically, you are going to participate today.
Okay.
So we have this plastic cup here. We've drilled a hole into it.
Okay.
And we are trying to emulate the lungs.
Okay.
We have the straws here, and we have balloons that we've cut.
Okay.
We've cut the top off.
Okay.
And
but it's taped or glued? Okay, taped.
Yeah, so these are taped around the straw in itself. So simple items that you wouldn't even think of.
Okay.
And so we fold it. So I'll get you to insert this into the plastic cup. So just, try and force that through there.
Without breaking it?
Yes, if possible. 1 second. Let me help you. Let me help you thread it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So just pull it through.
It's out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right to the very top.
Okay.
As much as possible so you can seal it.
Okay.
And so what we're trying to do is that this is the trachea, which connects your throat to your lungs. Okay. These balloons are supposed to be your lungs, and this is supposed to be your rib cage, actually.
Okay.
So if you hold that, and I'm going to attempt to seal this, this is going to illustrate the diaphragm.
Aha, okay. Let's see.
Let's see if it works.
Stretching balloons without cutting them. Okay.
There.
Hooray.
So really, technically, these are your lungs, and this is supposed to illustrate how the lung works.
Okay.
So the lungs, as we know, helps us breathe in and out. We take in oxygen, we expel carbon dioxide, but the lung itself doesn't really do anything without this powerful muscle. The lung is not a muscle. This powerful muscle here, which, seals everything, and is called the diaphragm. Yeah. And that is the muscle that actually controls the lungs. Nothing happens without this. Okay. So when the diaphragm is pulled down, it makes the lung cavity expand, and basically your lung is filled with air. Exactly.
So these are the lungs. So when you pull
the lungs are in there. Yep.
It expands.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you pull it, it expands.
Yeah.
Like blowing. So you pull it,
and it expands.
I like the sound it's making.
Yeah. So basically, when you pull the diaphragm down, you are creating more capacity and volume for air. And so air is coming through. So this point here is your nostrils, comes down through the trachea. There's high pressure there, so the lungs fill with air. Yeah. So of course, when when it goes back and it contracts, you are expelling the air and everything reverses.
Amazing.
So obviously when you have a cold, you're a bit more congested, or if you have any respiratory conditions, if this muscle is compromised in any way, it makes breathing a lot more difficult. So really, this is a simple way of explaining biology to children. You are using arts and crafts to be able to do that. And you are able to, again, illustrate the concept. So it's not just the words in a book. They can actually see it. So if the diaphragm comes down, increased volume, increased pressure, air comes in. If the diaphragm goes up, the opposite thing happens.
I think the fun part of it is they being able to experience this themselves.
Exactly.
Putting, you know, their hands, being able to see exactly how the lungs work, and then of course the craft in it, because some children love art.
Exactly.
And it's usually a great way to illustrate for them. It's not enough to draw. Sometimes being able to participate is part of it.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of them have drawn this concept of,
One
you know, the
million times.
trachea and then the lung
Yeah.
lobes, etc. But I think, you know, illustrating it and, as you said, them participating
Yeah.
in it will help them remember. And that's what STEM is all about, or STEAM, learning by doing.
This is exciting. I love that line, learning by doing.
Yes.
Really, thank you so much for your time, Jadesola Adedeji. It's been really exciting learning how this works. Okay, so while I continue to play with this like a child, let's find out what's been happening in the kitchen. Okay.